Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A longer break than usual. I almost said a quick break, and I meant to say the opposite. We had to wait because Bone 7 is back, baby. Admiral Bulldog played an admirable Phoenix last game, but here we've got the Bone 7 back in. It looks like he had some internet issues that were resolved, so that's exciting.
They've got the full 5. It's an elimination match, a lot on the line here. A win here puts you into the best of 5 tomorrow, where you're going to fight the loser of ASUS.Polar in Secret.
Yep.
These teams are basically 2 wins away from coming to the summit. Otherwise, you're going up against Navi and Alliance in the Redemption Zone.
Yeah, this is a big time. NiP, they've got to shake that one off. They had that game, threw it away with those buybacks at the end, and that was definitely their game to throw at that point. So without any further ado, let's see what's happening here in this draft. Troll, Warlord, and Phoenix, the opener for Cloud9, and, well, that's a pretty scary opener, if I don't say so myself here, Parker. NiP, though, they get some big magic damage. The Lightning God mixed with some Ancient Seal action.
Yeah, a lot of burst damage here, and great against the Troll until he has that BKB. And it's a serious game, Envy. Probably going to actually have to get BKB this time around. The Zeus, I feel, almost 90% of the reason behind this pick is a deny pick from Cloud9, because they first picked the Troll, and that second pick probably would have been the Zeus if it was still available. Just because of how much Cloud9 really prioritized this pick. So a bit of a deny pick, but we'll see how NiP do with this. I imagine it'll be like a limp hero for the mid lane, but not something NiP really would normally play, would you say?
They play it a fair... not a lot, but it is something that they keep in their Rolodex. I'd say maybe like 20 or 30% of games. It's not crazy. It's not one of those... Sometimes you'll see teams just, we need to deny this, let's play it, and that can backfire. But it's a hero that they play from time to time.
Now, the Troll also here that Cloud9 can run in the mid lane as well as the safe lane, so we'll see which direction they go with that. The PL ban suggesting that NiP are like, well, Fata, I mean, Fata was one of the first big plays to play Troll before the hero was considered kind of where he is now. It was kind of considered imbalanced. Whether he is or not, it's another story, but he used to go mech on this hero even, back with the old mech. I mean, Fata would go mech on everything. I don't think we'll see a mech Troll today.
Well, old mech used to be just amazing.
Yeah. He would go mech on Dragon Knight, mech on Troll.
150 mana cost. You could get it on pretty much anyone. That was what I loved about Dazzle. I'd go Phase Boots mech Dazzle. You had the mana to sustain it, and you hit hard, you're super tanky, but now you got to be a little more choosy. 225 mana cost is quite high for a hero like Troll. It's like half his mana pool in the early levels. But NiP, they grab Slark here. A nice elusive Murloc to get things going for some carry power. Now, this is a hero, I would say, that they don't play very often.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting. Just wonder what they have in mind. I don't think of Slark as particularly good against Troll or Phoenix. No, not particularly bad, but I'm not really sure where he fits in here quite yet.
Yeah, maybe more like a playstyle thing where they want the Slark to just have more kind of scrappy fights and use the vision advantage from the Zeus for find pickoffs for the Slark. So I think they recognize that Cloud9 G2A will split push spread the map. They want to have a hero that can find those pickoffs, because Cloud9 G2A are rarely kind of grouped up as 5, and Slark may be a good hero with a Shadow Blade to find those kills around the map. There is still the Fata Beastmaster in the pool, which is generally a good hero for vision, good against the Slark. Instead, though, Magnus comes out, and I'm wondering if this will be Bone 7 or Fat in the mid lane. Probably mid lane with the Phoenix pickup, since they don't normally run a Phoenix support.
It feels like Fata, Magnus, and could Troll be the Envy hero here? I think
it can be.
It's not often you'll see that Envy hero first picked, but that seems to make the most sense.
When Troll's there, you'll say, well, we'll pick his hero first because it's a Troll.
I mean, Fata has been on fire with Magnus recently. He's just been playing amazingly well. He's put up some really good games. LD even went so far as to say yesterday that he saw the best Magnus performance he has ever seen from Fata last week. I didn't watch the particular game he was talking about, but that's a pretty bold claim from a guy like LD who has seen a hell of a lot of Magnus games in his life. You know, the classic Dendy Mags, some of the best Mag players in the world. So definitely a hero to respect in the hands of the Cloud9 mid player.
Okay, so we'll see what the NiP squad have in mind with these last couple of picks. Still probably need that Jonas here for the off lane. Still got your Bristleback, which they ran last game, if they want to take that approach once more. And I think having a secondary kind of carry is going to be useful when you've got the Zeus in the mid lane, who, he's got a lot of magic damage, but and he does scale well to the late game, but I think you do want more actual right-click damage to go with the Slark.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe Bristleback for the off lane again. That could be your Jonas hero here. Safe lane Slark, mid Zeus, off Bristle. Gives you pretty good frontliners to make some space for the Zeus and Skywrath. Bristle can just be up in the front lines, turn his back, start tanking it up, and Slark doesn't really want to tank it up, but at least he can initiate, use the tether on the pounce to kind of keep his Zeus safe and make some space. The other problem, though, is against the Magnus, having a double melee core could be a bit scary. Here's a nice space-creating support, the Disruptor. Great against a hero like Magnus, if you can glimpse him back. Anybody with a lot of mobility. Pretty good against the Phoenix as well, with that Icarus dive.
They've got 2 of the 3 best supports against the Phoenix. Skywrath, Disruptor, and Silencer are like the big 3 anti-Phoenix heroes. So,
Silencer.
They've got 2 of them, and we'll see what their last pick's going to be. Probably that Jonas offlaner, but for C9...
10 seconds remaining.
Just their supports they're really missing here. If they want to go for the junglers, they can, but I think they're going to be worried about their weak laning stage against Disruptor, Skywrath Mage. There's a lot of lane dominance from NiP, but they will go for the jungler. Big Daddy No-Tell, I think it's fair to say he didn't have his best game in Enigma last game.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. At least 2 just completely whiffed black holes, catching nothing but air. And then even after those aside, even if those holes didn't happen, it still was not a very dominant Enigma performance. He had a couple of pretty good black holes, but overall he got picked on that game. That was really not a great match for him. But they'll try their hand again. Enigma with all this other team fight is still very scary. I mean, you look at this Cloud9 lineup, and there is some obvious mid-game team fight synergy here with all these huge ultimates.
So Lion, your last ban for the NiP squad, so even just your standard support still in the pool, though. There's still a Witch Doctor, still a Crystal Maiden.
Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, there's
Rubik, and a lot of really good heroes.
Yeah.
Rubik could be great for Cloud9 here against all this magic damage. The null field alone is pretty helpful.
As for NiP, what are you banning out for your Cloud9 here? I mentioned the Bristleback. I think we're in agreement that's a good option, but instead it's going to be the Jonas Clockwork.
Okay, I'd say an equally good option here. Yeah. Another great frontliner who can kind of peel for the Zeus.
And works kind of nicely with the Zeus, because if you start off a fight with a Zeus ulti to scout out some of those heroes, like your Magnus with a Blink Dagger who's looking for a hook, or your Enigma off to the side, it can set up that hook shot on a hero that was otherwise like, oh, I'm in fog, they don't see me. So the synergy between the Clockwork and the Zeus is pretty nice there.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. Well, NiP low on reserve time here. They'll only have about 15 seconds left to think about it. If it's not the Bristleback, I mean, Tide is in the pool, but I don't think he's even really a
They'd rather go like a Centaur normally for Jonas. They've done a bit of if they want like a Initiator Team Fighter type hero.
Yeah, Centaur could be an option.
Yeah, running out of time. They Doom.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, that's a little different.
It's a good Doom game. Enigma and Magnus, both great Doom targets.
Yeah.
And does give them another kind of good late game hero that scales well with farm. You get your Ag, Shivers, BKBs, and even later on down the track, a Refresher Orb. This hero goes great into the late game.
I think on paper, Doom is pretty good, but maybe it's just my sample of games. I think LDN and I both have been in this, where most of the Doom games I've seen recently have just been disastrous, where early on he doesn't offer enough, he just tries to sit back and farm, and the other team uses that window of opportunity just to roll over the lanes. You know, he provides a lot once you get to that point of level 6. Maybe you get a Blink Dagger. Certainly once you get Ags, he's really scary. But before then, he's just a big boy walking around with a fiery sword.
Yeah, and I guess you're playing against Cloud9, so I'm wondering if they're thinking, okay, we've got 4 other good heroes that can do well in the early to mid game, give Doom space, and Cloud9 generally play these 60-minute games. So
that's true. That's true.
Maybe it's more of a like, okay, this is a hero that will work well against this specific team, even if I mean, you mentioned the hero doesn't typically do too well. It's also a hero I don't think I've ever personally seen Jonas play. So
yeah, that's the other thing. Definitely not a go-to hero for NiP. I'm sure they play it on occasion, but not one that I think of when you're talking about this team.
Yep.
So we'll see if he actually off-lanes or if he moves into the jungle earlier rather than later and just looks to get his farm going on. With Enigma in the jungle, they can feel a little more safe doing that, I think, knowing that the C9 lanes are a little more rigid just by their nature.
There's going to be NiP on that dire side for the second game in a row, but they haven't got a Roche draft at all. Not that you should be saying, okay, we got to get like all these heroes that can take Roche, but generally you want to have at least one hero that can make taking Roche possible or easy. Yeah. Even if it's just like Avenge, who can go for a Medallion and then everyone at least gets some good right-click damage to minus armor. Or you get like a Troll or a Jug and then you don't need anything else. They have 0 good Roche heroes. Even with a Medallion, this lineup will not be able to take Roche at all.
Yeah, certainly a good point there, though. NiP are smoked up. It's going to be a 5-man invasion. Eternal Envy, he's lingering nearby. He's kind of in the danger zone. Can they get the vision? They've got a glimpse. Oh, mama, that's got to be close.
Oh,
All
we're
right.
hoping for an early first blood. And
Wasn't actually scouted out, I believe, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Envy saw them here. You hit F2. They can see him walking on in. And I don't think NiP are going to find anything here unless... Oh, Bone 7 getting close. They really want to get a glimpse going on. Although Jonas just walks right into him. Maybe they will find a fight after all.
Jonas is completely stranded here.
And now he gets blocked off by the fissure. They will get a
it's a
counter
dive
ward down, but
This is
They
bad for
actually gonna
Jonas. Even if he
kill him.
lives, he's leveled up Scorched Earth, so that's a win in itself for Cloud9. You're doomed typically wanting to have that Devour as early as possible. Looks like he's going to take the
The
bounty
battle
rune. You'd also
begins.
normally want the bounty rune to go to your mid laner, but Jonas is like, I leveled up Scorched Earth, I need my Devour. Like, just help a brother
sorry,
out, man.
mid lane. This
Yep.
is my bounty rune. Well, there was another victory for NiP, though, and it's this guy right here. They take out the Observer Ward that Cloud9
Oh,
put
nice.
down. They block out this medium camp, and they block out the pull camp and this camp with the oh, actually, never mind. It's not the Magic Bush. So it'll just be this camp here with this ward that gets blocked out. Not quite the Magic Bush spot. So still get a lot of good warding done through that invasion despite Jonas maybe being off to a slightly more rocky start. But at this rate, he'll find a fast level 2. It's just him and Envy for now. Earthshaker busy blocking out the top lane, and of course Enigma in the jungle. He has his hands full with his Dark Troll Summoner here.
Surprisingly tough lane for a Doom, though, and I think it's actually not even outside of getting the Scorched Earth level 1. This is probably a good thing they gave him the bounty rune, because this is a very troll-sided matchup, and Envy can put a lot of pressure on the lane if he wants. Likes to go for the Orb of Venom in these kind of lanes where he can punish the enemy hero, and may see that here come out.
Mid lane, Limp maybe in some trouble. Fissure block from Misery. Nowhere for Limp to go. They'll try and turn him into a Zeus sandwich. Skewer forward, and Misery, well, he'll eat that sandwich. And with it, he'll find some extra bonus gold there. That'll be level 2 on the Earthshaker. C9, strike early and find a nice kill in the mid. Meanwhile, down bottom, Jonas almost gets solo killed by Envy. Stays alive because of the Scorched Earth, but as you were pointing out, Troll being a bully here.
This is just not going to be a fun lane in general. Like, Troll hasn't even got any points in the fervor yet. That's when he can just harass you even quicker and harder, and this is just going to be a tough lane. Misery's down bottom lane with a Fissure. Are they going... Ooh, if he got in Fissure range, I think that's a kill with the slow.
So as well. This feels like a lane that Jonas just wants
They're
to
going in
abandon
bottom
sooner
lane.
rather than later. What a Fissure. It actually blocks him out. Easy dives here for Cloud9 G2A all day, every day. Envy gets another one. That'll make it 2-0 here in the first 2 minutes of gameplay. Phoenix will stack up the Ancients, and well, Limp gets a bounty rune, but rocky start here for the Ninjas in Pajamas.
Yeah, Magnus was bottle crowing anyway, so Fata wasn't even looking for a rune at that point. He's just going to wait for his courier to come back. May even chew through this and go for another bottle crow. His boots will be coming out with the next courier delivery, so yeah, he's just leaving the courier mid for now for himself.
Yep. What is that little courier? Oh, the fox spirits. How adorable. Some gems in there.
Yeah, pretty.
So say he looks a little diseased with all that. He looks plagued or something. Poor little guy. Uh-oh, you got another package, Parker.
I'm just a popular guy today, I guess.
Limp could be in some trouble. Another beautiful Fissure in the mid lane. Nowhere for Limp to go, but this time Fata not quite in position for it. He was bottle crowing, and well, they still box out Limp just a little bit here. And speaking of getting boxed out, Bone 7, he'll be pushed out of the top lane. Seal Kid doing a lot of harassment here with this Arcane Bolt. Bone 7 will be just fine as he rotates back through to the top lane. So the cores of C9 all farming very nicely here. Actually, 4 of them topping the charts here for last hits. It's really just Era. The big hope here for NiP. Not the last hope, but a big one. Farming quite nicely. Not much the Phoenix can do to zone him out. Still a very nice lead for Cloud9, though. About 1,500 gold, 750 experience. A lot of that coming from the Enigma in the jungle. This go around, Big Daddy having a very good start. Some of his camps are blocked out on this side, but he doesn't really seem to care all that much. He's happy as a clam just utilizing these 2 camps here, the medium and the hard, on that western side of the Radiant jungle. Already halfway through level 4. Keeping up with these mid laners pretty well. Maybe could be doing this a little more efficiently if he had another camp to work with, but all things considered, Enigma off to a fine start, as is the rest of his team.
Yeah, when you've got the couple of kills and you've got an Enigma jungling it up, even not getting that super fast level 6 top rune coming up, and Hanskin out in trouble here. The dive through catches up multiple heroes. This is a lot of damage, and Fat even gets the skewer to the higher ground. He's going to be kept alive. They get Hanskin, and Bone 7 now the next maybe hero to go down with one more Arcane Bolt. That'll be a 1-for-1 trade so far, but the damage not done. Seal King being body blocked by Fata, and the Shockwave turns into a 2-for-1. Fata off to a fantastic start here on the Magnus.
And another rocky fight for NiP. They rotate quite a few heroes, though, to be fair, so did Cloud9. Jonas will now be mid to leech a little bit of XP as Cloud9
bottom lane,
continue to press forward. Oh, is this a solo kill? Oh, he gets the bash on Hanskin, but glimpsed back, and okay, Hanskin will live. Another close call, though.
Yeah, just picks phase boots against a bootsless disruptor. Good luck staying alive here. Envy may just go charging forward looking for this kill still, but Hanskin already seen what Envy can do and seen that he wants to go diving for those kills.
Yeah, this Troll's getting a lot of space, and even though he's keeping up in terms of farm with Era, they're within 1 or 2 last hits of each other. Era will go for a Hand of Midas, by the way. Already has that recipe, and will have it completed right around the 530 mark after a few more last hits, but I feel like Envy is just being an alpha this game, asserting his dominance over anyone who's foolish enough to show their face in this bottom lane.
And Doom kind of rightfully just backing off to the jungle. That's kind of his only option right now. Seems Cloud9 just knew they could just run Envy solo against the Doom, and that would just be a straightforward lane for him. And so far, so good. This bottom tier 1 tower taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, going to go down pretty early here. Hanskin, though, this time uses Glimpse aggressively. Kinetic field there on Envy. Seal Kid TP's in, but gets bashed. Hit by Whirling Axes. He's thinking, Hanskin, dude, I don't know if that was worth it. Envy dives the tower, doesn't end up going down, but gets a double kill before doing so. Misery helping him out with another fissure. I think a worthy trade there for the Troll, despite dying in the end. If
it's a 2-for-1 and one of those heroes got XP for it, it's one thing, because that's like a level 6 on your Disruptor, or maybe Skywrath gets level 4 from level 2, but neither of them got XP. So yeah, well worth it for Envy. Nice play there, and he'll probably just come back and push this team on tower now.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that TPN would be somebody that could actually do some damage, maybe Doom with an ultimate available, but yeah, the level 2 Skywrath Mage, a little bit underwhelming. Even if Seal Kid didn't get bashed there and just manned up on, I'm not sure if they really would have had the damage to make it happen. Speaking of liking damage, up top, Bone 7 squares up with Era and will TP to safety.
Bone 7, though, just level 2 and a bit here. He's actually been the one main hero to struggle a lot. Oh, mid lane, Misery has got a fissure, and it looks like they really want to try and go for this kill. It hasn't been scouted just yet, and that's an Invis Earthshaker coming out. RP, skewer back if they need it. Well, the skewer is going to be the killing blow.
Still an easy setup there. Misery making up for anything that Bone 7 is lacking this game. This Earthshaker having so much momentum. 2-0 and 4. He's been involved in almost all the kills his team has found. Envy will finish off this tower down bottom and will get the last hit for himself. But Earthshaker's already level 5 with Arcane Boots at 7 minutes. It's not very often you see that.
Hit like 5-minute Arcane Boots on Earthshaker. Normally you don't even go Arcane Boots because by the time you can afford it, it's not really all that useful. Like, you're better off getting just your Trenkles, your Soul Ring, having a few more clarities, but when you can get it that early, it suddenly becomes worthwhile.
Fata's got a 7-minute Blink Dagger here. Normally you'll see him get Arcane Boost first, but down bottom, Troll, he gets glimpsed back. There's no tower. Lip trying to move around the trees. They barely finish off the Troll. Holy Toledo. Zeus lives, but man, was that a close call. So 7-minute Blink on the Magnus. I feel like this is almost too early. You're a bit limited by your mana pool without the Arcane.
Well, he's going to find a kill off of it. Limp has not spotted it yet.
No RP here, but he does have a maxed out Shockwave and Skewer. There's your Blink, Skewer, Shockwave. Okay, you did the math and I didn't. Easy. All right, I take that back. Strike it from the record. Well-timed Blink Fata. You're making it count.
And just blinks. The Blink Dagger is just nice for that skewer back, like we kind of see there. So you can make a lot happen with the Blink, even when you don't have the mana pool for an RP. And you'll get the Arcane Boots in no time at all.
Yeah, especially with a kill like that. Big Daddy, though, now level 6, does not have the mana for the Black Hole. Soul Ring on cooldown. Static Storm Kinetic Field comes out. That'll stop him dead in his tracks. On the other side of the fight, Misery puts out a fissure to try to break things up. Now Big Daddy will get chased down by Seal Kid. He is hasted. Ancient Seal, Arcane Bolt, not going to be enough damage, but on the backside, Fata finds a solo kill onto the Hanskin Disruptor, and he will just skewer back to safety.
Fata is so fun. I don't even think he's going Arcane Boots. I think he may just pick up a 4-staff to fix some of his mana issues here. There's your RP mid, just your Skywrath Mage, but you're so far ahead, putting RP on cooldown. It's not like NiP will be like, oh, RP's on cooldown, let's go push, let's group up.
They don't want to fight anyway. They've got a Midas Slark. They want space right now.
The Skewer alone is scary. It's like, sure, RP's on cooldown, but Fata with a Blink Skewer can still do the exact same thing he just did there.
5-0 and 2 on this Magnus already. Not surprised to see Fata with this kind of farm. 2,000 gold now. He'll have arcane boots and then plenty of gold to spare. I mean, normally you'll see a Magnus look for a refresher pretty early on, but here I think Force Staff will be that next stop off, and I mean, we could be looking at a like 20-minute refresher if this keeps up.
Boy.
He is. I mean, look at the net worth. He's at 6K nearly already.
Look at this. He's picked up a Shadow Amp. Oh, he sold it.
Okay.
Oh. His team were like, dude, Fata, please.
Let's not get too crazy
serious
here. Yeah, I mean, and that's comparing him to Era, who had a 5.5-minute Midas on Slark, who's been free farming this entire game. No pressure's come on him. Phoenix has been zoned out, and that's how much better Fata is farming over him with all these kills. It's actually ridiculous.
They're trying to kill Era with the or even just a skewer black hole here, but the lane ward spots him out. They think they've dewarded this because they had dropped a sentry there. Fata even bought a smoke, but his team's like, we don't need a smoke.
Oh, just out of range.
We've got a sentry here, but yeah. Just mixing up this lane ward every now and then can catch you a break here, and we're seeing it.
Okay, Era even knew they were coming, but Skewer back into the black hole. Echo Slam, ult from Zeus comes out, but a quick, clean kill for Cloud9. Well, how clean is it? Fata, he gets pulled back into a Static Storm kinetic field. They almost have the damage. One more auto attack. They find it. Seal Kit. He'll get credit for that one, and that'll end the mega kill streak. And does end up making that trade a 1-for-1. The best exchange NiP's found so far, I think.
Kind of even exchange in the end. The gold slightly favoring NiP because of the big streak, but you lose your Slark. That's your big hero here who you really want a lot of momentum on. And Fata's already got his momentum. He's already got all his basic items. Him losing gold is not really causing C9 to suffer. They are losing one of their big tempo controllers right now who's looking to fight, find kills, and create space, but it's at an acceptable cost.
Well, now the Midas is up on Jonas, so that's 2 Midas for NiP, and of course none for C9. So discrepancy here in the general strategies. Cloud9, they're looking for a lot of mid-game aggression, some high-octane play. NiP, they want to try and deflect, try and channel their inner Cloud9, if you will. Seldom take fights and just look to power farm towards that late game. Here we'll see a smoke rotation from C9, though. They'll continue to keep this up. Gets scattered out by Limp, but Fata has an RP. Blink Dagger on cooldown, hits him with a shockwave. There's, Skewer to follow up the fissure, and there you go. Easy kill on the Zeus. And they may just transition into a tower push mid lane. Envy's even rotated over. He's ready to chop at this tower.
They're going to take a lot of objectives at this rate. NiP may be underestimating the fact that C9 will take early to mid-game objectives if their lineup can do it. And if you've gone too greedy, like NiP maybe have done with the double Midas and with Doom pick in general, then you've got your Troll who's great at taking Roshan. Envy's even gone for just 2 points in the nuke and 3 points in Fervor. He can take Roshan very early on with this build of his. Enigma can go in with him with some Eidolons. This is not going to be easy for NiP. I mean, they just flat out really can't contest Roshan, and they're unlikely to even scout it out.
Yeah. But actually didn't go for that Force Staff. He picked up the Power Tread, so not even Arcane Boots coming out on him. Wants to maybe be a little more combative this game and do some tread swapping. Enigma closing in on a mech, camping out this bottom haste rune here, pinging it like crazy, but we'll just have to pick it up for himself. Mech, the perfect item for C9 the way they're playing this game. There's been a lot of fighting already, and Mech kind of your go-to 5-man item at this stage of the game. No surprise to see it pop out on Enigma. Not the best timing from Mr. Big Daddy there, but well on his way. If he gets ganked, this will slow him down. Smoke rotation from NiP, but Big Daddy's hasted up. Doesn't matter though, glimpse back into Static Storm kinetic field. They will find the kill. That does delay the mech time.
Take a look at Envy, though. He's got a lot of farm coming his way.
Ooh. What is this? A triple golem. This is a 5-stack here. And, oh, that's an empower.
Yeah, that is a 3 points empower too. Going for just the 2 skewer build. And yeah, Envy will clean it.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Era skewered. He will survive this time. Even the Echo Slam was used, but has the ultimate there. Shadow Dance will keep him safe. So Envy, he had about 200 gold before this whole thing started. This is like a 1,500 gold gain off that Ancient stack there. That is just incredible. You look at net worth, and now he is really topping the charts. We were talking about how well Fata was farming. Now Envy in the spotlight.
So we'll see Magnus head back to base, not picking up anything crazy just yet with his money. And Envy, yeah, 800 gold, probably going to look for like a smoke into Roshan maybe. He may not even need, I guess he wants to smoke just to be on the safe side.
They do have a smoke on Fata, or they did.
I think he used it to try and gank that Slark. I didn't see what happened with the Slark gank, because with
it looks like he did.
RP Skewer and a Echo Slam, that probably should have been a kill. I'm guessing Era just got a well-timed Dark backed off to get out of one of the stuns.
Yep, I think that was the case. I caught kind of the end of it after the RP had been used, but they just didn't have the crowd
I was just too in awe of the ancient stacks, to be honest. I'm just like, oh my god.
Me too. I was like, how much gold is this actually? We was talking about how much farm it is, but yeah, 1,500 gold is nothing to scoff at.
Zeus ulti to try finding. You see that Zeus ulti and Misery immediately backs off. Like, okay, they've seen me, they know I'm alone. Let's not give anything up here. And into Roshan, Cloud9 will go.
Lane ward comes down. As soon as you see that Zeus ult, you know, okay, scouting tools are down. This is an opportunity to do Rosh. Even when you have the Phoenix also, Bone 7 on the high ground, ready to grab a Supernova if someone walks by. This should be an uncontested Rosh, nice and easy for Envy. He'll be the one to grab the Aegis. Also completes his Sanj and Yasha now.
Well, they caught Misery top though.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Glimpse up and
the lane ward just causing him some problems there.
okay, so they get a kill on a support. They end his killing spree, so I guess a slightly more valuable kill. And a tier 1 in exchange for the Aegis. Not ideal for NiP, but at least they don't hand Rosh over for free off the backside of a failed fight.
It's getting the most they can out of the map, even if it's still Cloud9 well ahead and taking the better fights.
Down bottom, tier 2 tower taking a lot of damage. They will glyph it. Big Daddy gets doomed, and he will be denied. Nicely played from Envy. No way that Enigma would survive there. Now Fata, RP on 1, skewer back. That'll secure the kill on Limp, but Magnus will have to pay for it here. Stuck inside of the Static Storm, kinetic field. Doom gives him the fiery sword, and they trade 1 for 1. Zeus for the Magnus. I guess you can count the Enigma, though. The deny makes that a very low value kill.
NiP is still kind of at least holding on a little bit there. They're not giving up kill after kill and tower after tower. They're finding trades. And they're going to get a Shadow Blade on Slark now off of this. This is kind of the big item Era's been waiting for, and he can now look to go around the map, find some more pickoffs on a lot of the targets here. Can't really kill the Troll, but most of the other heroes are very achievable with this Shadow Blade.
Yeah, especially the 2 supports. Phoenix, elusive but very squishy. Has that Hand of Midas, but nothing really in the way of stats outside of that GG branch. Talking about big items, though, Misery has a Blink Dagger Arcane Boots at 16 minutes. Even though he just died up top, this Earthshaker is still unbelievably rich at this stage of the game.
All this tower gold and Roche gold just adds up. He's looking good, and there we go. They'll get the D ward and the lane ward. They kind of should have known that was there based on the kill on Misery earlier, so he probably just reported it. There we go. Top lane going to be exactly where Cloud9 are headed. They've got a T1 and a T2 tower to take with Aegis in hand. And
bottom tower
maybe going to be giving up the... They could even defend the bottom T1 tower if they really wanted to, but it's a risky place to defend with 1 or 2 heroes when you don't know what NiP are, where NiP are.
And now the tier 1 up top will be under assault from Cloud9. G2A, Envy in the front lines, and Fervor makes this just an easy tower bring down. No glyph for NiP. They used it to try and defend that tier 2 in the bottom. So they'll just fall. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they want a tower kill of their own, but how easy will this be? Phoenix, Icarus dive around. Era gets initiated on by the Fissure. Misery blinks in. Slam dunk. No chance for Era to reset with that Dark Pact or the Shadow Dance. And not only do Cloud9 defend, but they get a kill on that high prize target, the Slark.
They would... I mean, that's a nice place. I think NiP, that was an okay idea there, trying to get that tower, because if they see TPs coming in, you can always glimpse back whoever TPs, but they just didn't find the glimpse. The glimpse was used on the initiating Phoenix, but Phoenix had already been bottom lane for like 10 seconds, so he didn't actually glimpse him back to the top lane or anything. It was the subsequent TPs that he wanted to maybe target, so good way for Cloud9 to keep that bottom T1 tower alive and find a big kill on Era, who just picked up his Shadow Blade and not been given any momentum his way.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Shadow Blade. You really need to find kills with it. And the more time that you can pick on Era, make him feel defensive, and not be confidently roaming about your jungle, picking on your Enigma, is just time well spent. C9 just continuing to pressure at every opportunity, though, Parker. Already this tier 2 tower in the mid in a lot of trouble. They're forced to glyph it, and I don't think they can mount the defense here. They'll just have to hand it on over. Envy finishes it off, and this Troll just on a tirade around the map. 3,600 gold back up on Envy, and Fata. That's a Shadow Blade.
He showed signs he wanted to go for this early, and Era going to get hit by the RP before it can react, and Misery's there with some chain stun. This is not looking good for Era.
Oh, now back to the mid lane. Envy in the front lines has the Aegis, and he will go down.
Okay.
Expends his second life. He does have some support nearby. The Phoenix sitting on his backside. Will Icarus dive in, throws out some fiery spirits, and will not connect with anyone. So just a pick off on Era down there. Good use of the RP, and like we pointed out, this is more time that Era is not hunting with the Shadow Blade and furthering his momentum.
Yeah. Jonas in the jungle, he may get caught out. No, he's not going to be spotted here. It's a dire ward above him, but he's going for the Ag Scepter. Went for a drums along the way. I think the drums are an item you get if you're actually like fighting and being aggressive a lot, like if you're the team in charge, but when you're playing from behind, it's not really... Doom's not a hero worth going for these value items. You want to play for the late game. In last game, like the Spectre wanted to go for these value items because all he can farm is heroes, but Doom, he farms neutrals. He farms the jungle with minus Devour bonus gold, so I think just getting the fastest Ag Scepter is normally the way to go.
Yeah, rough game for Era, 0-3-1, and then you look at Envy 5-2-0. Feeling pretty good on this troll. He now has a BKB completed. It'll be delivered momentarily. Yep, there it is. This troll is still in fighting shape. What's Big Daddy doing? I feel like it's been a while since we checked in on this Enigma. Just Mech pulling up for a blink perhaps, but finally, Doom comes online with something. Jonas gets himself the Aghanim Scepter. Well, that's good news. Maybe a sign of life for NiP if we look at the graph. 7,500 gold, nearly 5,000 XP. Not insurmountable, but it's getting to that point.
It's, yeah, getting very hard. The Cloud9 draft is just coming together. They've got the big team fight with the Magnus, the Earthshaker. Envy hits hard with the Empower at the same time. I mean, your Enigma. We haven't really seen Big Daddy No-Tail have to offer too much to the team just yet. And once he gets that, like, Blink BKB, suddenly he's going to be a prime Doom target.
Whoa, RP on 2. Egg right in the middle of the fray. Earthshaker with a double kill on the Zeus and Disruptor. Zeus will buy back straight away, but they've already lost their Skywrath. Jonas gets stunned by the Supernova. I'm not sure there's much he's going to be able to do here. Now Era comes flying in with an ultimate available still, trying to bring down Misery, but Big Daddy, he's got the black hole, and he catches Era with it. They isolate Limp, they stun him long enough for Slark to be stuck inside the event horizon. NiP taking a disastrous fight here. They even burn a buyback. It's a 1-for-4. And I don't think they'll find another. Maybe they can bring down Big Daddy here. Okay, they can.
They didn't really stick together there. I guess if Magnus had some more mana for a Skewer Shockwave, and he could have maybe looked to re-engage, despite everyone being low on HP, it all comes down to like getting an initiation off there. But still, huge team fight. NiP lose 4 and have to buy back their Zeus. All they get is a Phoenix and an Enigma. Oh boy, that's...
Doom is the only one that gains on the side of NiP. He does get about 1,000 net worth gain out of it, though. So his bottom line not feeling too shabby. We'll be closing in on that Blink Dagger if it's what he wants to grab next. I just feel like the Doom isn't enough, though. They need Doom and Slark to be getting big. Just one or the other simply doesn't have enough carry power to go up against this Troll and RP and everything else that Cloud9 has. It's not just about the right-click carry power on the Radiant side, but more the amount of control they have with all these ultimates.
And with it being just the Doom, it means if Cloud9 want, they can just straight up solo RP the Doom, and that is the majority of NiP's teamfight gone. They can do a solo Black Hole like they just did on the Slack. Doom taking out the fight. If you can kill him before he uses a Doom, the Ag's Doom, you've basically won the fight. So they'll be using they'll use a Blink Echo Slam or a Blink RP on this Doom if it sets them up for a good team fight. The Zeus has nothing in terms of items. The Slack, it's just the Shadow Blade, which is being mostly countered so far. Lots of sentries on the map, and Big Daddy No-Tail doing a good job being proactive there with the detection.
Fata, though, in the Shadow Blade, looking for some kind of an opening. The bigger problem for NiP is they're just running out of space to farm. Look how aggressive Cloud9 are being right now. You can kind of draw this line to divide the map, and Cloud9 getting a much bigger share of the real estate as they're looking to finish off the last outer tower remaining. Doom comes in, starts it off with an ultimate onto Envy, but where's the follow-up damage? Thunder God's Wrath has already been deployed. They find Fata, and they will bring him down. Mystic Flare's there from Seal Kid, and he will try to skewer across to little avail. Now Doom chasing down Bone 7. He will go into the Phoenix Egg, and Jonas, you better turn tail and run, buddy. He will. Looks like they'll make it out. Supernova will not connect with any stuns. Everyone else will make it out okay. For now, Envy pretty low on HP. Slark goes into the ultimate form. BKB gets deployed. That means no glimpse available. They do finish off the Phoenix. Envy tries to TP home, and it won't happen. Slark brings him down. Now NiP strike back. A huge team fight for them as they defend that top tier 2 tower, take about a 2,500 net worth gain.
All 3 core heroes from Cloud9 dying in that fight. Jonas with the Blink Dagger being one of the big pickoffs there, being able to get that Blink Doom off on Envy, take him out of the fight, but the most crucial thing there was that Zeus ultimate, scouting out the Shadow-Bladed Magnus as he was trying to initiate in. It allowed Skyreth to get the silence off, and Magnus not having any way out of that Ancient Seal just got caught, locked down. Slark came in from the side with the Ancient Seal, hits the Pounce and the Mystic Flare, and they kill off Magnus. Without Magnus, they lost a lot of their team fight.
And that's where the Shadow Blade versus something more conventional like a Force Staff or a BKB makes the difference there. Jonas will get stunned up by Big Daddy. Solo Black Hole to try and lock him in place so the Earthshaker can get here. Do they actually find this kill, though?
Well, that's awkward.
Not so sure about that one there, Big Papa.
Scorched Earth, good spell. Just 2 points in Midnight Pulse too. That's a max Midnight Pulse, maybe a different sort. Okay.
Skewer onto the low ground. They don't get that one, but they'll find a Zeus instead.
Everybody's stuck in the high ground.
It's a little bit awkward as well. Yep. At least Fata's got a blink. Bone 7's going to have to sit here and wait for his Icarus dive.
Yep. Era coming in from the side though will catch out Big Daddy No Tail, and No Tail just with a mech. That's not going to save his life. Era finds another pickoff, and this is some signs of life from the Swedish squad here.
Not a bad trade at all. 1 for 1. Slark getting one of the kills. Now Seal Kid though. Misery jumps on him, hits him with some stuns. Fata comes in as well. RP has been deployed. Handskin will be the recipient of said RP. Now Jonas, Supernova may stun him here. It will. He dooms Envy, but not worth it at all. And cast occurs once again here, Parker, just as we see signs of life from NiP. They get cleaned up with Era being the lone survivor.
That Axe Doom doing a lot of damage. Envy, man, you got to stay in that Sun Ray. It heals you. But he'll
wow, that took him surprisingly low.
I don't think he realized Doom was 16 there. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Some 1,100 pure damage or something at level 16? I don't know.
80 times 15. Let's see how good your mental math is here. It's 1,200.
1,200, yeah. It's pretty big, pretty potent.
Okay. Yeah.
You have got that Sunray heal is going to be important as far as dealing with the healing up whoever is getting doomed in these fights. So Phoenix can offer a lot to his team outside of just the Supernova.
Era almost in trouble. Will pounce back as soon as their presence starts to be known here. Closing in on level 16 for that final point in the Dark Pact. How's the gold graph looking? It's kind of plateaued here. It's bounced all over the place, but of course C9 holding on to an edge, although it's not really increased too much than where it was when we last checked about 5-10 minutes ago.
Vata's still doing so well in this Magnus. The ulti orb may be going to be a Lincoln Sphere to help MV out or whoever is going to likely get doomed up. Even just to block an Ancient Seal can be kind of nice.
Is this kind of creative build here better than just your staple BKB refresher? We'll see him initiate here on 2. RP catches Seal Kid and Handskin, and well, that was easy.
I prefer the BKB, but it's like he gets a lot. Shadow Blade's one of those niche items which can be really potent. It forces out, even when you don't see it doing a whole lot, it forces out your opponents to kind of, it changes their playstyle. When they know there's a Shadow Blade Magnus, it means Slark can't be reacting to like a Blink Dagger and trying to use vision to his advantage. He needs detection as well. I mean, plays like this, Eric gonna get kind of scouted out by a Shadow Blade and blink out, but it's just really good at kind of creating space more than like a Blink 4-staff build can do sometimes.
Yeah.
But the Lincolns, I'm like, it's good. It serves different reasons behind the BKB because you can pop it on Envy as well.
Well, here we go. Smoke out of the Roche Pit. Fata leading the charge. They bump into Era. Echo Slam to get it started. They should have plenty of stuns to bring him down. Even a black hole for good measure. Yes, indeed. That ends the Slark's killing spree, though, and Fata will get a little more gold to his name. Nicely done by Cloud9. They move into the Roche Pit, get an uncontested Aegis, and then Smoke right away find a kill on the one target they absolutely want to continue shutting down. I guess a kill on the Doom is maybe equally valuable at this point, but still, great pick off there. And ooh, what does Fata pick up? He spends some of that money. It's a Lincoln Sphere. Completed as well, Perseverance, and the recipe on the way. There you go.
And that's the kind of item which will give you a bigger mana pool and mana regen, so you can now go into the refresh if you want. He's really confident in the front lines. He hasn't got much backup here. It's just the Phoenix behind him. But
meanwhile, in the top lane, they go in onto Jonas, starting off with the Fissure, but Fata
it's gonna not be
on his way in. RP just cooling down in the nick of time. Skewer back, and We'll have a shockwave to bring Jonas low. He tries to doom, but ayo, that's a Lincoln's. Noble effort, good sir, but not happening this time.
Slark kill into a doom kill. They just killing high priority targets here. Even if they're committing ultimates, it's getting Cloud9 in a better and better position moving towards the late game. They've still got a lot of room to grow with some of these items. Envy picks up a Blink Dagger now. Give him some initiation, which can follow up the Magnus, Blink, or Shadowblade in.
Oh, Fata's just controlling this game here, Parker. He blinks forward, skewers Limp back into the team, and, well, he does manage to get off a little bit of damage. He pops his ulti, but it will be at the end of him. Troll Warlord gets that one, and there's your third core. Just back to back to back. Fata pops that Shadowblade, runs around, and it seems every Shadowblade use yields a kill, at least for the past couple minutes. Very impressive.
This item is paid off, and they're going to force out buybacks now. Zeus has one, Doom has one. Doom does not really want to use his, but it's getting awfully close.
Already taken out this tier 3 tower. There is a dire glyph, but I don't know what the ideal time to use it is. Well, apparently it'll be right now to try to save the melee barracks. Envy pops his BKB. That is your 9-second charge, so it will last for a pretty girthy duration. They get the melee barracks, now start to back out. Cloud9 playing this rather cautiously. They don't have RP or Black Hole. Black Hole for a minute, RP for about 30 seconds. So they are playing this rightfully cautious, I think.
They've done enough. They got the melee barracks, and they're gonna
they forced a buyback on top of that. I mean, this is just value town all over the place.
Still holding onto the Aegis for another couple of minutes, so I don't think they have to force another high ground siege. They'll probably look for these big pickoffs, wait till they have RP and Black Hole both on cooldown. So one option A is you go for that 5-man push around these ultimate cooldowns, but I think they prefer to go for pickoffs. If they can find a pickoff on a Slark or a Doom, then they go for the push. They'd rather find a pickoff using a Black Hole on Slark and then push afterwards, even if it means Slark maybe has buyback and buys back. Just long term, that's a better economic play than just trying to 5-man push around your ultimates.
Yeah. But it seems like C9 not so worried about economic efficiency. They want to have a dieback on Limp, and they'll get it. Envy taking a lot of damage. He does get doomed, but he has the Aegis. He didn't even have his BKB available. He won't be too upset about that one. Static Storm Kinetic Field used by Hanskin on the high ground, but Fata with an RP on 2 pushes him into the team. Echo slams there, slam dunk, slapping him around. It's Cloud9 G2A that could be on their victory march to the loser bracket finals. Oh, NiP looking so strong in game 1, but here in game 2, their greed was matched by Cloud9's hyper aggression early on, and boy, did it pay off. There it is. GG, well played. Cloud9 take it 2-0, and this is the end of the Ninjas in Pajamas in the Summit 3. The redemption vote is where their focus will be if they still want to have a chance.
We're down to 3 teams, 2 spots for Europe here in LA at Sunshiny.
So what do we have? Secret versus ASUS.Polar. Our winner bracket finals will be coming up in about an hour's time. The best of 5 to see which team qualifies. Then the loser of that will be squaring off against Cloud9 for that final spot in Europe. How very exciting.
This is getting tight here in Europe. And I got to say, Cloud9, after they dropped down to the loser bracket really early on, to this team here, NiP, when they weren't really they were kind of struggling to find themselves. But now I would give them a honestly, I think there's a good chance to go up against ASUS.Polar, and I would say Cloud9 are favorites here. And even if it's ASUS.Polar upset Secret, I could give Cloud9 at least like a 50-50 shot against Secret. They're playing just some good Dota right now.
50-50 against Secret? You think they're playing that well? Huh?
I think they are. I think today, especially Envy and Fata are really playing their A game. Misery as well on the Earthshaker today was great. I mean, Big Day No Tail's Enigma game 1 was a bit shaky. Game 2 was pretty good.
Game 2 was okay. Game 2 was a little easier, to be perfectly fair. Fata was controlling that game from start to finish, so really Big Daddy just kind of had to follow his lead and not do anything too crazy. But Envy in game 1 in particular, that was so impressive. He started off so poorly on that Spectre, 0-3, ended up farming his way back. Of course, they end up winning the game, partially because it was a game of throws from NiP, but even getting to that point where NiP could throw it is a testament to how well Envy handled himself. Yeah,
so just great all around. Fata's just like channeling his inner S. Like, this is very reminiscent of S4, like what he would do with the old Alliance and stuff, where he just controls the entire game. Like, he is maybe one of the best, maybe the best mid laner out there right now as far as what he's bringing to the table.
I am so glad Fata is in my fantasy pool. Oh, that was a smart pickup, man. Woo! Feeling good. So, thank you for joining us, folks. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do a fantasy draft and talk about Vulcan a little bit. So, stick around. It's a lot of fun, and I think that's it for our first series. So, I'm Zyori. He's Parker. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back after this break.
I was actually one of the